"Come, tulip, come, and take colour from my cheek," said Eastern philosopher Mevlana in the 13th century, when shrubs, bulbs and flowers were flooding into Europe from the Near East. They went wild for them, especially in Holland, who would make the tulip that grew wild in Anatolia, in Western Turkey, an integral part of both its culture and economy. By the first half of the 17th century, just as now, the consumption of luxury goods, together with an emotional state of ecstasy, seemed to go hand in hand. However, it wasn't about drugs, but about flowers, which were reassessed in terms of their value as it related to both morality and money. It was inconceivable to most that a flower could be worth the price of a nice house in a good place on a canal. But this happened when a socio-cultural and economic phenomenon known as tulipomania appeared. It happened first in the Low Countries of Europe, which in those days meant the trading partners of the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg, and then it quickly spread to nearby England and France. So pervasive was the desire to obtain tulips by those seeking to use their possession as a status symbol that they became the target of innumerable moral tracts, as well as satirical texts, paintings and engravings. In well-to-do households, tulips were strewn over tablecloths and brought out for important banquets. They attracted a particular French vocabulary adopted by both Dutch and English growers. Collectors and floriculturists commissioned artists to produce manuscripts and paintings depicting their collections, so they might show them to fellow connoisseurs or potential buyers at the times of the year they were not in bloom. Poets wrote about their beauty and form. In a promotional zeal, prizes were offered to the best poem about the tulip. They were given evocative names such as Burn the Heart and Matchless Pearl. Travellers such as Antoine Galland, a diplomat from the French embassy, wrote about the overwhelming passion that the Turks had for them. 300,000 were dispatched from Kiev in the Ukraine to Sultan Selim II for his palace garden in the capital of Turkey, now known as Istanbul. In the East, tulips had a pointed petal. The longer they were, the more admired it was at the Ottoman court. In Western Europe, a rounded cup-shaped flower was preferred. Petals had to be of good texture, stiff but smooth, and of one colour at first. Then they introduced the striped tulip. They were called crowns and were either red and yellow or white and red, and many of the best were raised not in the Netherlands but in Flanders, around the towns of Ghent and Lille. A book about tulips printed in 1634 depicted the white and violet species viceroy when it was first introduced. They intrigued botanists and floriculturists who dedicated themselves with enthusiasm to the creation of new varieties, many of which, unbeknown to them, were actually the result of a virus that only in our century has been isolated and identified. Every new variety of tulips created by Dutch horticulturists was named after some famous personage, an important general, a well-known beauty, or a figure from antiquity, like Rome's Caesar Augustus, a great celebrity in his day. In 1635-6, a record price, or the cost of a house, was paid for the red and white variegated Semper Augustus. But then, unexpectedly and quite suddenly in 1637, the market collapsed due to overproduction. By 1642, prices had halved. It was a lesson in morality for those with religious beliefs, and a lesson for all the rest in how dangerous speculating on the fragility of a flower could be. Perhaps life isn't just a case of tiptoeing through the tulips after all.